Hi everyone, Vegas from Critic here. Jeffrey K. Howard here to review Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max, streaming on, I think it's March 18th. Gosh, Jeff, can you remember? Wait, 18th or March 19th. This has been the rumored Snyder cut that's been the stuff of urban legends for years. We didn't even know if this print even existed until Zack Snyder himself proved that it did. He took a photo of these canisters of film or whatever it was, and he took the laptop and all this other kind of stuff. You know, this is the kind of movie that's just made of, Hollywood legend. And, Zack Snyder had a family tragedy without going into too much detail. And rightly so, he left the production. And of course, it was picked up by Joss Whedon, Avengers fame, and Buffy, the Vampire Slayer. And it was not what the fans were promised. And every time I'm channel surfing and I see Justice League on HBO and I stop and watch it, I just think to myself, what is this mess? It just doesn't make any sense. So of course, the incredible visionary, incredible filmmaker, Zack Snyder, had his own cut of Justice League. And for HBO Max, thank God they came along, because they really wanted to make a splash, and they gave him what, $60-70 million to complete this movie. Now I want to understand that most of the movie was completed, but he just needed to do a lot of special effects. So they spent a fortune on this. So now pretty much I am not going to give a review of this movie, because this 4-hour and 2-minute epic, there are many more people on YouTube that are much more qualified, that are absolute geeks about this stuff, that can go into every detail. One is my buddy Sean O'Connell over at Cinema Blend. He's got like a 20-minute YouTube. I encourage you to go over there. He'll break it all down for you. He'll do that. Plus some other critics on here will also do that. Also check out his book. I got to plug it. Release the Snyder Cut. Incredible companion to this movie. So I'm going to give you my reaction. And, so I'll leave the details and the DC Universe stuff to somebody else. So overall, they showed this to me a week before it came out, obviously. Also, check out my interview with Zack's wife, Deborah Snyder, too, where we talk in only 4 minutes about this incredible epic. So they showed me the movie, of course. Before I did the interview, I had to see the film. And I watched it last weekend, not once, but twice. Yes, it's 4 hours and 2 minutes long. This movie just moves along. Why? Because it's just a masterpiece. It really is. I mean, this really elevated the comic book movie to a whole new level. Of course, kudos to the Russo brothers. Yes, that's a whole different animal. And Disney's got their, they've got the whole thing down over there with the Marvel universe with the MCU. It's absolutely, but we needed the struggling DC universe to get a shot in the arm. And not only did it get a shot in the arm, it is the fountain of youth. It is just a remarkable effort by Zack Snyder. All the characters are now flushed out. We get all of their backstories. We get more music. We get more special effects, and everything makes sense. Now, when I say it's a 4-hour and 2-minute movie, the movie is broken down in chapters, because I always thought, why didn't they do a miniseries like The Watchmen, like Zack Snyder's Watchmen? And I asked Deborah Snyder that, and she says, look, we broke the movie up into chapters so you can watch one chapter and not miss anything. You can stop the film and come back to it, because everything is self-contained in these chapters. So all the people you see behind me, they all have these flushed out backstories. The one that really surprised me the most, the one that I appreciate the most, let me bend over, which way? Bend over, let me move to the side, is Ben Affleck. I think that in the original Justice League, he was such a mess that people just couldn't stand Ben Affleck as Batman anymore. Totally redeems himself in this, not because something he did, but now we get to see the complete story of Batman. I think that was one of the most astonishing revelations in this Snyder Cut, is that Batman's story was so incredible, and to the point where I love Ben Affleck as Batman. So I hope he comes back. I hope he does a standalone movie, something, because he's fantastic in this. Also, the Flash and the backstory with him. Everybody gets their moment to shine in this film. Also, we get more of the supervillains that are back. Steppenwolf's expanded, and it's just so many things going here. It's almost impossible for me. You could create a whole college course on this movie. Yeah, get credit, right? And it's that detailed. It really is. So I was just in awe of this film. I really was. I have a whole newfound respect for Zack Snyder. I love Man of Steel. I love all of his other films, but just something about this, when a director is allowed to bring his vision without any interruption. I think of other Hollywood stories like this. You got Terry Gilliam in Brazil. Who else was there? A Blade Runner, Ridley Scott, he wanted his director's cut, got that awful narration out there with Harrison Ford that the studio goes, people aren't going to understand what's going on. Put him in there talking at the noodle stand. Oh, it was terrible. There's so many other examples where, and we're not talking revisionist stuff, like George Lucas going back and making Greedo shoot first and, all that crap. And Steven Spielberg putting cell phones as shotguns in the hands of the FBI and ET. That's wrong. You shouldn't do that. As long as they have the original version, they can do what they want. But I think that's wrong for them to do that, to be politically correct and change art. Would you change the Mona Lisa to a frown? Absolutely not. Zach, congratulations. This is an incredible film. I think even if you're not people who say, well, I hate fantasy like Lord of the Rings, I'll never watch it. I'll never watch, superhero film. This is different. This is rated R. It's mature. It's for adult audiences. And you're going to love the storytelling in this. You're going to see these characters like you've never seen before. It's the kind of movie where I'm sitting here talking about it. I want to go watch it. That's how exciting it is. So that is my reaction. I don't know if that's a review or not, but I love this film. I love the experience. It was what we needed. Zach, you're a genius. Thank you so much. Also, check out, of course, Release the Snyder Cut. Sean O'Connell over there at Cinema Blend. Check out his in-depth, deep dive on this movie. And Team Aquaman saying, thank you so much for joining me. I'm Vegas film critic Jeffrey K. Howard. For more reviews and interviews, just surf on over to my website, all new website. Hope it's up by now at vegasfilmcritic.com. From Las Vegas. See you guys later.